Hi everyone, so for today's video I'm going to be talking about real confidence versus fake confidence. So real confidence is when you don't need like external validation to feel confident, whereas fake confidence, you do need validation from others. You need to prove yourself by showing off. Like, those people that constantly need to show off are deep down insecure, because why would you need to keep proving your worth to people when you are supposed to be confident, right? So yeah, so these people who think they're confident but they're actually not, they're actually insecure of themselves. They perhaps have had some issues growing up. They've maybe been bullied, maybe they've been abused, and they need to try and address these problems instead of trying to mask it with fake confidence. Because if they can resolve that, they can actually build real confidence. Confidence that cannot be shaken or shook. It cannot be broken by people criticizing you or saying horrible things. Or maybe you have a setback in life. Maybe something bad happens and now you feel like you know that you're not confident anymore because, let's say for example, you built up a physique, but then you got into an accident and then maybe you've been like paralyzed or something and you couldn't do it anymore. You're in a wheelchair, you become crippled or something, and all that source of your confidence has gone away, and now you feel like you're nothing and you can't do anything. But you have to believe in yourself regardless of what life throws at you. You have to have the intention to do great regardless of what life throws at you. You can't let external situations make you doubt your self-worth, because it doesn't matter. Nothing outside matters. All that matters is what is going on within you, what you feel about your own like your own sort of prospects of the future and where you see your life going. Because if you need that, certain things, whether it's a relationship with a certain kind of person to try and make you feel good, or you need that fancy car like a Lamborghini or something like that just to feel confident, then you're not truly a confident person, are you? And there's a lot of these you could say they're like alpha male grifters who are trying to sell you this lifestyle where you need to try and get rich and all this stuff, and a lot of people will buy into it because they have these underlying fears and anxiety and insecurity about themselves, that maybe they feel like that if they become rich and successful, then that's going to fix all these problems, when really it's not, and it's just going to mask it. And you're probably just going to end up attracting a bunch of the most degenerate type of people into your life, whether that's so-called friends, whether that's a relationship. Because when they see you with all this materialist crap, then those type of people are going to be driven to you. Those really material kind of people. Like attracts like, you know. If you're a more spiritual person, if you will, then you're going to attract those kind of people on your same wavelength. So we have to be careful about what our goals are in life. To me, being truly successful it's about being content and happy with your life, regardless of external circumstances. That you know that you're going to be okay, regardless of any of that, because you don't base your worth on any of that. And if other people are basing your worth on that, screw them, you know. They don't deserve to be in your life if they judge you based on your worth, like in terms of financial worth, because that isn't real worth. That is just a facade where people pretending to be like so successful when really a lot of them are not even that happy, because they're always in competition with each other, trying to be the most degenerate, the most materialistic. So we have to learn to evolve past that, so that we don't attract the wrong kind of attention into our life. So yeah, just because I've been thinking about this, that it would be nice to make some money, right? But the truth is, I don't need absolute fortune. As long as I've got enough to travel and do what I want, I don't care about all this material stuff, because a lot of that's just going to like keep you stuck in, basically selling your soul. It's like the system wants you to just sell your soul, and it's just kind of like convinced everyone that you're worth more, that if you have more financial worth. It's because we've put value on financial worth. But if we stop valuing these things, then we don't give it power. Something only has power when we give it power. So it's all about just putting your attention into things that actually matter, and that's going to give you real confidence, because if something fails, then that doesn't matter, because we're going to be okay, and we'll find a way around it. If we have setbacks, that's fine. We will just go back to the drawing board. It's fine. We'll find a solution. It's getting that mindset, shifting your mindset to being solutions focused rather than problem focused. We've got to just try and focus on the right kind of people, because like I said, if you're around all these materialistic type of people, you're going to feel like, I have to keep up with the Joneses, I have to have the newest phone, because then if you don't have that, you feel like you're not worthy. You're going to feel like they're going to judge you for that. But why would you care about any of that? Because that's true confidence, is when and true self-esteem is when you don't care about any of that. Like someone might not believe in you, in your abilities to do something, but you don't care because you know deep down what you are capable of. It's like, oh well, you don't believe me, that's fine. I believe in myself. I don't need your belief. I don't need your, kind of reassurance and all that, because I can do that myself. Now, it's nice to have that from people. I appreciate it when people say, you got this. It's nice to have that, but we shouldn't be relying on it. We should be only relying on what we can, sort of, our own abilities, our confidence. And if we don't have that, then we need to address that. Maybe for some people it might mean they have to go to a professional, or just go online. There's resources online that you can look at, maybe some shadow work or something like that, and that can help you with confidence. Sometimes it's self-image issue and you need to deal with that. We don't feel worthy because of maybe from childhood and in those formative years. You've got to try and help to kind of recover from that. And there's actually a book called Psycho-Cybernetics, if you haven't read it. It's about becoming more confident and improving your self-image. Because if you have these underlying issues, then you can sort of like try to mask it with external things, but deep down you're gonna still feel kind of insecure. And so these alpha males, like I said, they're actually the complete opposite. And true alpha males, I would say, are the ones who just do what they want and don't care about others' opinions. They are the leaders, but they don't try to force it. They don't try to force attention. They command it. They make it happen without needing to feel like they have to force it, because they know deep down inside what they are capable of. They know that they have value. They just lead by example. So it's like you get these men in like relationships, and they're abusive, and they call that toxic masculinity, right? Is that really masculinity? Let me know what you guys think down below, but I don't think a real masculine man is gonna become abusive and controlling of his woman, because to me that is a sign of insecurity a lot of the time, that they feel the need to control so much that like they're going to be worried that if they don't control them, then that person's going to leave them or something like that. So these men are just completely like, I think they're the opposite of confident. I don't know. A real confident man doesn't even need the validation of a woman. He's okay to let her be what she wants to be. Let her kind of have freedom in her life. He doesn't have to worry about her being there all the time. How is that toxic masculinity? I don't think it's actually masculine at all. I don't know. Maybe I've got this wrong, but it seems like a very kind of insecure kind of behavior. So whenever I hear about toxic masculinity, but people come out with examples that are different to that, but it's kind of like sidetracking here. But I don't know, I think that the word toxic masculinity is being thrown around too much, but I would say that example is not actually masculine. Like, there's an attack on masculinity, that saying that masculinity is bad, and they'll use some extreme example that of men being, being abusive and all that. So whether you want to call it masculinity or not, there's this attack on it, and because true masculine men are confident in themselves, they're able to assert themselves without being forceful. Like I said, if you have to force something, then you're not confident in it, because you'll have some woman be by your side if you feel confident that she will be by your side. Like you just kind of attract that. But if you're deep down insecure, then she'll actually pick up on that and then be less attracted, and then you'll have to be more forceful, and you have to just kind of calm the hell down and just I don't know what you guys think, but society's being gaslit about masculinity, and apparently it's okay if women are masculine, that's actually empowering of women, but if men are masculine, then that is somehow bad. Why? When men should be masculine, really. If anything, women should probably be more feminine, because that's more in their nature, and it's more men's nature, generally speaking, to be more masculine. There's this yin and yang thing, divine masculine and feminine, and people are trying to deny these things, with this progressive stuff, and again, I'm sidetracking, but like this, but it's like, but the thing with masculinity is it's about being it's about being confident, but also being able to be humble at the same time, being able to admit your faults, being able to just accept that, you could call it vulnerable, whatever, but it's about accepting who you are with all your faults. That's what a true man is. And you can be confident as a woman as well, of course, but there seems to be an issue a lot with men nowadays where they've been, a lot of it could be because a lot of men are struggling with dating now, so they're feeling like they're having to do all this crazy stuff to try and make a ton of money to try and impress a woman, because he deep down doesn't feel worthy. That could just be he doesn't feel that connection, but you have to learn to find that within yourself, have that relationship with yourself. But you need to not rely on other people for external validation. And a lot of men have been told that, if you haven't slept around, then you're not a real man. And I think that, now you could say that's toxic masculinity, but is that real masculinity? This need to sleep around just to feel worthy, because that's just, to me, just a facade. Real men don't need to be flaunting about how many women they've slept with. They don't need to they would rather probably just have one that they actually really are in love with and cherish, rather than just seeing them as just another object that they can just dispose of. So yeah, it's like we're in a society that's just so disposable now, and people are treated as like, oh, I'm done with you now, goodbye. It just feels very cold. Society has just become very cold now, and I think social media's done a number on society. It's like nobody trusts each other anymore, no one wants to commit anymore. It's like, I don't know. It's sad really, but we shouldn't be relying on that for our confidence, because like I said, going back to the topic, that it's not real confidence. You know, if you need to feel loved by somebody else, to feel worthy, then you have issues with yourself. You have to love yourself. You have to feel good within yourself. So just, yeah, if you're feeling you have some problems, then yeah, maybe go seek some help, because it might change your life. So yeah, so I've been going through a lot of issues in my life. You know, I've had times where I felt worthless, and oftentimes I would do performative things to try and feel worthy. I would, probably why I learned magic tricks, because I wanted to, deep down, I wanted to try and impress people, to feel a sense of validation. I would try to learn all sorts of cool different tricks and things, because I wanted to be impressive, because deep down I didn't actually feel like it was anything, that I needed to go and prove myself. But why did I feel that? Because I didn't have the best upbringing. Things happen, and it just, I wasn't really accepted that much. I had the odd friends and stuff, but I'd always feel kind of like left out, and but I still had a lot of these issues growing up as I got into adulthood, where I'd feel the need to try and prove myself to others, to feel worthy. I'd always be trying to show off. Even when I try and do all these things online at times, I'd try to impress people, I'd try to get validation, trying to get views or whatever. But if you feel the need to get that to make you feel satisfied, then you've got a problem. And I'm kind of talking to myself here right now that maybe I have a problem, and that's something I need to fix. Well, I don't necessarily need to completely fix it, but I need to try and at least acknowledge it, so I can try to deal with it and not. I don't want to, try and let it hold on to me anymore. I'm just going to let go of all these insecurities. It's like, all this performative stuff, it's like, I'll just do it because I like doing it, rather than because I want to impress people. It's cool to show it because it's good to inspire people, but I don't need the validation off others. So I need to just kind of tell myself that I'm worthy, that I have all these gifts, and I don't need to prove it to anybody. I have to also be like, if I woke up tomorrow and I lost all my muscle or whatever, and I'd be fine with that. So like real confidence, it can be a real challenge, but you can work on it and it can become like a life changer, that you can look back and you're glad that you've sorted things out. Oftentimes our mind gets in our way. We overthink things, we think about past failures and all that, because we might have felt like nothing ever worked out, but that doesn't always have to be the case. Maybe because you were just inexperienced, and that's fine. We all make mistakes. There's people who've tried to make something work for 10 years, even 20 years, and then boom, finally they got the lucky break. So you got to also just be realistic and accept that things aren't going to work out overnight, right? So even things like building muscle, you see all these crazy physiques online and you're like, oh, why am I not like that? Maybe I'm just have bad genetics or something. But what you're seeing is probably the top 1% genetics plus a bunch of gear in a lot of cases, with the best lighting and all that, and a pump. So it's really distorting things, and that can really make us lose our confidence and self-esteem. So a lot of times people would then abuse substances and do crazy things to try and make themselves feel better, but they need to accept themselves as they are, and have realistic expectations as well, and you gotta be honest with yourself. But yeah, I'm kind of sick of seeing stuff online about mid physiques when they're like top 1% physiques. Completely ridiculous. It's like if you see, like, was it Peter Parker from Spider-Man, the original series? You look at his physique back then, that probably wouldn't even be considered as a mid physique nowadays. I mean, that's how distorted things have gotten, where some people would see it as almost like a joke kind of physique, like just a pathetic even. So yeah, that is pathetic. If you think that physique is even mid, that is completely ridiculous, because most people are not actually that lean or that muscular. So yeah, you have to kind of like be realistic and be like, if you've gotten some gains, you've gained say 20 pounds of muscle, you're probably doing better than most people. But if you feel like I need to build more, so I can feel worthy, that I can feel muscular, then you have a problem. You have to accept yourself as who you are, and you also need to just trust in the process as well. And so you have to have a balance of, like, I think, striving for more, but also accepting where you are right now. So yeah, just anyway, gonna wrap this up. We're going for nearly half an hour, so everybody take care. I'm going live about 7 p.m. UK time. Peace out. Bye.